What's up guys, Brandon here from Barking Mad, and today I want to jump around on a few different topics which are going to be how to avoid separation anxiety and how to overall have a happy dog. So first I'm going to explain a different way of thinking about things before we go ahead. So it's very, very important to remember when working with dogs or any animals that they live in the moment. So they can't think about 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, yesterday, a year ago. They can't think about what they're going to do tomorrow or what they're going to do next. They live in the moment, so they only react to whatever happens in their environment. So in saying that, when you see a person, let's say, and you meet them for the first time, you can see how they're dressed, you can see how they interact socially, etc., etc. I guess you can judge on that time, and you can judge them again on a further interaction that you have with them. With dogs, they don't remember what you were like yesterday, what you were wearing. So they only see you as like energy in the moment. So if you think about, if you're angry, your dog literally sees you as bad, negative energy. If you're anxious, stressed, worried, all those similar types of thoughts, your dog's just going to see you that way. So I guess we have the ability to change the way they were in the moment just by our thoughts. So they can't do that. In saying that, the way to avoid separation anxiety is that think about anxiety itself and what it is. So anxiety is, I guess, anticipation and worry about not knowing what's going to happen in the future. So if your dog is worried when you leave, then I guess that's anxiety. If you feel that emotion along with them and reinforce and give affection, I know you've heard me say this stuff quite a lot. About my hat, I know I'm inside, but I stacked my bike, so my head is a little bit messed up at the moment, so I'm hiding my noggin. So I guess the separation anxiety usually is created when we're about to leave the house, and we're worried about how the dog's going to feel when we leave. So I guess going back to living in the moment, the way that we'd do that is that living in the moment isn't just about not worrying about yesterday and not worrying about tomorrow and just doing whatever in the present moment. Living in the moment or living in the present is more about knowing what to do with your future from your experiences in the past, and knowing that you know exactly what to do in that moment. So dogs need to know what they're doing at all times. All right. So if your dog is waiting at the front gate, or standing at the front gate, standing at the front door, standing at the window when you leave the house, they're in, let's say, guarding mode. So you'll get behaviors like, excessive barking at people going past, whinging, whining, all that sort of separation anxiety type behavior, destructive, they're going to start chewing things, they're probably going to rip apart the gate itself. So whenever your dog is waiting, it seems to us like they're just waiting at the front gate. If you leave them, they're just going to stay at that state. So it's about teaching your dog to go into what they're supposed to do when the leader leaves, is go into wait mode. So that's when they're going to bed, they're curled up and they're relaxed. So to get around that, you need to teach them when you leave, what are they to do, and which is to go and relax. There's a few things that we need to get in place, I guess, to get to that point. It goes along with creating a happy dog overall and helping them know what to do in the moment, which is setting a routine. So you people out there that wait until like 5 p.m, 6 p.m. to take your dog for a walk, you're going to have a lot more issues than the people that are early morning risers and they're taking their dogs for a walk early morning. So I think the routine is to wake up and go walking. That's what dogs would do. So if you want to wait until nighttime, then I guess that's up to you, but you're going against the needs and the instincts of what a dog has. So you wake up in the morning, you walk, you bring them back, then you feed. So they have to work for their food. There's no animal in the animal kingdom that doesn't work for their food, and they work by going to forage, hunt, and wait and things like that. So you simulate their instincts and their needs. After that, they rest. So when you go to work, it only makes sense for them to stay behind and rest when they're tired. So if you have that routine in the morning, you have the routine of setting up a dog that is not going to develop any sort of bad issues that we don't like feeling ourselves, and we don't like thinking that our dog is going through that while we're at work or we're away. So putting them in waiting mode. So waiting mode is this. So Snowy and Baron are definitely in waiting mode at the moment, and that's what you want to achieve before you leave. The second, I guess, part to having an overall happy dog is that they need to understand that no means no. So some instances of where this might be applicable is, they go to chew your Tony Biancos. So you want to make sure when you say no, they know what that means. So if they're approaching an object, you tell them no, and they just walk away from it, and they don't give enough distance and go into wait mode, they're going to come back and they're going to do the behavior then. So you haven't actually told them that no means no. You've just said no, but you haven't taught them what to do, I guess, after that point. So it's very important to remember that we have to follow through. That's what causes us to get frustrated, when we think that we've told the dog what to do, but we really haven't followed through 100%. So when they know no means no is when the behavior completely stops. So when they don't go forward and go for the object, let's say they go to greet a dog or they go see a cat while on a walk, they definitely have to know that no means no. Because it's pretty hard in a video just to explain what I mean, but if you think about a toddler, human toddler, when they're having a tantrum, let's say they want some food and I guess they don't need it. There's no reason why they should have a tantrum attack over a piece of food. So the way they stop that is obviously some parents out there might know that if they're way too aroused, you just have to grab them and hold them down very calmly and very I guess minimum force necessary. So that's what I always teach. So if you go overboard, you're going to get a reaction back equal to how you approach it. So mother dog will always say calm, correcting her puppies. So number one, be calm first, because you are a lot bigger than the dogs, and the power struggle is not really fair. So going on with making sure they know no means no is because you're a lot bigger and you're a lot stronger than them, and when they frustrate you, it's going to be a losing battle. So to avoid that, you don't let them do things that will make you upset at them. So minimum force, holding them down. They may cry, that little yelp, which isn't, they're not actually really hurt. They usually whine and yelp when a behavior is come to a stop. So that would be the following through part. And you really need to teach them that no means no. Or think about if they see a bird on the other side of the road, whatever it is, they're sort of black and white. So you have to teach them that every single time you say no, they stop the behavior. If you're only getting 50% of the time, then when they go to cross the road, across the busy highway, and you say no, it might end up being a good day. So rules have to be black and white. They have to know what they're doing at all times. So I guess that's all I wanted to cover. I know I've jumped around a little bit today, but I hope you guys get the gist of the overall video about teaching the dog what to do in the moment, so they don't go and make the decisions themselves, which leads to the behaviors that we don't like. So I hope this has helped, guys, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.